Hello, greetings. This is your host, Jared Buffington, with the Play to Win Heroclix podcast. And I'm coming to you reporting from this year's Rock Cup, the 2017 ROC World Championship, which was a lot of fun. I got some notes about the meta right now. I got some notes about the championship, and it's going to be a great episode. So, without further ado, first of all, I want to say Heroclix is amazing. Okay, I have not played Heroclix since States, which was in July, I think. I have not played Heroclix since Georgia States, where I got my first big win, and I qualified for the Rock Cup. So my play group down here in South Florida, they basically all quit because of the set spamming that was going on in Heroclix, with a set or two every month, and every set having something that's a must play. Even when I won the Georgia State Championship, I was like severely undermanned with the ID call-ins because I didn't have Hawkeye or Green Arrow. I was using the LE Green Arrow with the 12 attack, 3 damage, and still, by the grace of God, was getting her done. And so I haven't played it all. Wasn't sure how I felt about the game. I know that I'm committed to the game long term, even if it's just a few events a year. But I'm very obsessive with things. I was obsessive when I used to be a drug addict. I'm obsessive about God, about Jesus and his church, and I'm very obsessive about whatever game or hobbies that I start playing. So, I like to be all in on something. So I've been playing Star Wars a lot, and just wasn't sure how I was feeling about Heroclix, but I decided I was going to go because I could, one, visit my family, and two, I already qualified, and it would just be a good time. And I want to say that the Heroclix community itself has won me over again. The community is so kind, so loving, so genuine, and even more than winning, the people there, for the most part, there are some, especially younger players, that really, really just want to win. But overall, the consensus of the group is we just love this game. We want it to continue. And there's this connection because out of all the games we could be playing, Magic, Pokemon, anything, we're all still committed to this game. And there's this camaraderie because of that that's, unlike any of the other games that I've played so far. So it was a pleasure to be there and to connect with everybody. People were letting me borrow pieces. People were teaching me what to do, because remember, I have not followed the meta or played since August, so I had no clue what was going on. Okay, so first let me start this. So I qualified for semis. I didn't try to get points. I didn't play in other events. I was just gonna make the top 32 or 24, whatever it was, to go to finals. And my mindset was, if I can't do that, I don't deserve to be in finals. It's all right. So I go up there, and I'm practicing with my play group, Heroclix, which is like a coalition of players that live in hurricane zones. It's not my official team. There'll be more about what team I'm on coming in the future. There's some things in the work. But this is a play group that I connect with, and we bounce ideas, and we figure share, and we practice together and stuff because of where we're at in proximity. So, where was I? So, they were helping me. A lot of great players. Kevin Afruz was helping me. Michael Smith was helping me. PJ Boolin always answers my questions, no matter how annoying they are. Patrick was helping me plan for stuff. And some of the ideas that I got was basically Jakeem is still the thing. I know it's Unimine and Jakeem, but the big event that I saw, Jakeem still won. I think Kevin Afruz is the one that won. And so I went into the semifinals thinking, okay, Jakeem is still, better, even though Unimind may be overwhelming. And I have not played a Unimind up until this point. I have not played against one. Okay, so I enter into the semifinals. I got Jakeem. Now this is 400 limited. So I'm playing Jakeem, Nick Fury, General Lane, 50-point Avengers Defenders War, Doctor Strange, and Jean Grey. Now my team helped me because instead of Jean Grey, I had Mercury and Joker's Wild Green Lantern, but I ended up a lot of the time using Jakeem to pick Telekinesis for Nick Fury, and that's just such a waste of Jakeem. So we put in Jean Grey so that I could at least use both of them. And the team was insane because General Lane's giving everyone Outwit. He has the PD team ability. He has Enhance. Doctor Strange has Enhance and +1 to attack. Jakeem can pick what he needs, and Nick Fury is just a beast. So Nick Fury is basically always hitting for 6. And I tested against a Unimind once, and I did good against the Unimind the night before, but we didn't finish the game. It was like, okay, he got behind, and he didn't play a Nighthawk. And we just kind of ran half of a game and saw that I could probably come out with it and didn't finish. So I really had no clue what Unimind was, and the clue that I did have was a false clue. So so I started out the day. I think my first game was against another Jakeem. Somebody played Jakeem, Goblin King, Full Point Green Arrow, the Chase Green Arrow, and I think that's it. There might have been something else, but I think, and Mitzelplick. And they basically moved out, and they thought they were safe because there was like a wall in between. But I blew up the wall, shot Jakeem through the wall with all my pumps and everything. And Jakeem was almost dead turn 1. And then turn 2, he died. And turn 3, Goblin King died. And it was just... Then he had Green Arrow left, which you can't target him unless you're within 3 squares. And... yeah, I think I ended up killing the Green Arrow too because he just kept moving up, so I just charged flurried on him. But, so that happened. That was a good win. I ended up playing the same guy round 1 in the finals the next day. But we'll get to that later. So round 2, I played against somebody playing 175-point Goblin King. Or, no, I think 275. They played like a big boy Goblin King with... World's Finest and Haha Joker and objects and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do, because this Goblin King has power cosmic. It's picking powers. He's gonna pick up an object and give him more powers, but I TK'd up Nick and got all the pumps and killed World's Finest turn 1. So now he's kind of in a dilemma. He moves up his Goblin King. Next turn I take another shot with Nick Fury on his Goblin King and do 6 clicks of damage and get him down to click 7. He picks regeneration. He regenerates. He rolls like a 2 or something and heals 1 click or so. And he thinks he's safe because he picks stealth regen. But I can't use stealth through Jakeem up there and hit him for 6, and he died. And I think he had ESD from an object, so he was feeling safer than he was, and he died. And then the game was basically done. But I was just so amazed because I had no clue how this was going to happen. If he had pressured me and got in my face, it might have been different. But yeah, so that was a good game. A great guy. I don't remember his name. Game 3, I played against Ryan Nelson. And Ryan Nelson is awesome. He's a brother in Christ. I think he's won a tournament or 2. And we've talked on the internet a lot. So this is my first time getting to play him. And he plays the Unimind. He plays it with Nighthawk. He played Nighthawk, and he played like a big boy Unimind, like at 275 or so, and he played something else with the boxing ring, and it was brutal. He played Ironheart too. And that's when this is the first time I really felt the wrath of Unimind, because my team was banking off of me getting the pluses from Doctor Strange and Nick Fury and General Lane, and I was getting none of that. Thankfully, I managed to kill Nighthawk and kill Ironheart and get that. I got about 100 points because they had an object on one of them or something. And so I scored those points. But he won. And it wasn't a close game at all, even though I killed the rest of his team. Unimind was like unfazed by anything. It was a joke. He really, really took me up through there. And that's when I finally realized, okay, Jakeem is not equal to Unimind in any way, shape, or form. And that's when I knew I was going to have to get serious about the testing that night if I was going to do anything in the final. So at this point, I'm 2-1. Then I sit down against Phil Sr., which Phil Sr. goes to a lot of the same events of us because he lives in like North Florida or so. And I don't know if people know this, but Florida actually has some really good Heroclix players. They got the North Florida crew, which is like Phil Sr., Phil Jr. I think Phil Jr. is in school in California right now, but he still will come to like state championships and stuff in Florida. And the rest of their team are also good players. Then Heroclix is mostly stationed in Florida, which they're good players. Then we got the Corca Comics crew, which is Mark Landis, who top 8'd at Gen Con last year. Ricardo, which he's a OG in the game. Most people know who Ricardo is. And Brittany Santiago and her husband are really good. And and then there's our play group with Isaiah and Eddie and stuff. So there's a lot of good players from Florida. And Phil Sr. is very good. He won our sealed WKO last year, and he very good with like the basics of positioning, threat assessment, making the right play. So good. If you make a mistake, you're not gonna win against Phil Sr. Especially if you play him in sealed, like a battle royal or something. He's pulling the chase. He's pulling the chase. He's pulled Beta Ray Bill. He's pulled Jakeem Thunder in sealed events. So, he's a man to be reckoned with. So I'm not happy that I'm playing Phil Sr. to see if I go to the finals. He's playing 2 Doc Ox and lots of shenanigans with that. He's playing the Green Lantern that can carry. And I think even Sam Cap he's playing. So he's just being brutal. He puts me on the WizKids office, which is my least favorite map. But I'm thankful because I was big on playing Jakeem, Faust, and Joker's Wild Green Lantern. And that was my map. That was my map of choice against Krang, Justin Seifert at the time. And so I know that map. I know how to navigate it. I know how to win. I know what needs to happen. I know what areas I can get into and the scenarios, how to get out of them on that WizKids office map. So he puts me on it, and he just moves up his full movement with the Green Lantern and carries his team, puts him in that middle office space. And he feels like he's safe, which normally he is. But with my Jean Grey, I sidestep with Jakeem. Well, let me step back. First, I do my line of fire and see, is there any way that I can see him through these walls? And if so, is it possible to get line of fire to one of his characters if I just break one wall? And I see through the spaces that there's one wall I can break and then get a Nick Fury shot off on one of his Doc Ox. So I sidestep my Jakeem, blow up a wall, free TK Nick Fury up 2 squares, and I, from that starting area 2 squares up, I kill one of his Doc Ocks. He was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. It just kind of happened, and now he's down a Doc Ock. So next turn he comes up, he kills my Jakeem, but I still have Nick Fury. Nick Fury kills his second Doc Ock. And from that point, it stops really being much of a game. He's playing Peggy Carter. He's outwitting stuff and doing stuff, but I have so many outwits with General Lane. So much damage. That Doctor Strange can hit. Jean Grey can actually hit a little bit. And I ended up clearing him. And it was a great game. I was just fortunate to think outside the box a little bit and get that shot off, which was huge. I make it. I place 4th in the semifinals, and I'm making it to the finals. So I'm excited because I haven't played a game of Heroclix, and I qualify for the finals, which last year was my first Rock Cup, and I didn't make the cut. I made it to the finals, but I didn't make the cut. So I'm excited to go in. I start play testing. I start asking questions to all the players, the Stratagem players, Phoenix Next players, Majestic players, anybody that I could talk to. I'm asking questions of how do we beat Unimind? How do we beat it? The best idea that I got from the field was, because I didn't want to play that Carnage thing, which was one of the ideas that Wes ended up playing a version of that, and Ed, I can't say the last name, but world champ, Ed, he played the Carnage too, and I didn't want to play that. So I was testing Samcap, Overdrive, Jakeem, and my mindset was if I move up and I kill Nighthawk on turn 1, then it's just Jakeem versus Unimind. How's that going to go? Which the average build here is Unimind, 2 Carnages, Boxing Ring, Nighthawk Prime, ID cards. That's the build, right? So we go in testing. I killed Nighthawk turn 1, which was not easy in testing, which still requires perplexes and things like that. Because it's he has a 17, so it's still 11 on a 17. And you got to hit because you're fully committing to going out there. It takes the perplexes on the damage to get that 5 damage. So even when I kill Nighthawk, it's still game over turn 2. They kill Jakeem and it's game. And it was not fun. It was overwhelming. So at about 1 in the morning, I say, all right, let me see what Unimind does and how that works. We go around. There's some of my buddies in the room, and someone's playing Lex Joker Duo, haha, and Unimind. I say, okay, that's cool. And but I saw the value in that Nighthawk. That Nighthawk was shutting teams down. Like any Nick Fury team, which Nick Fury is a good answer to Unimind, gets shut down by Nighthawk. And when you're playing against a Unimind, if they have a Nighthawk and you don't have a Nighthawk, the advantage is in their favor. So I knew I had to play Nighthawk and I couldn't play their build. But it got me thinking I will play haha. Because I didn't want to play the Carnages, even though they're so good because they give up like a 10-point target. I wanted my team to be super aggressive and also be playing straight point denial to where they couldn't even get the 10 points. To where they throw out an ID card and don't kill, I'm going to be up. And so I played haha, Nighthawk, and Unimind. I just decided that's my team. Got my ID card characters, and that's what I was going to play. And Supreme Intelligence, which was different than a lot of people. Most people were playing the Teleporter. And so that was going to be my team. I didn't really get to test it a full game, but I just knew I couldn't play Jakeem and that this was going to be all right. So we show up for the finals. I'm literally going around and asking people, continuously asking Kevin Fruit. So Unimind's perplex works like this. So Unimind does this. So they don't score points when they kill Unimind. So they pop out first. So this, that. And he was so nice. Kevin Fruit just answered all my questions. I must have looked like a total jerk showing up on the day of the finals asking how to play my team. But that's what was going on. So my first pairing, I actually get paired against the same exact gentleman that I played first at the semifinals. And he was playing Jakeem again. And it was not good for him. He was playing Jakeem, Jean Grey, and Goblin King at 75 points with Supreme Intelligence. I think he had a Possessor on Jakeem and some ID cards. He picks an indoor map that's super walled. I'm not familiar with what the map was. But it had a little corner by my starting line where there was blocking in front of it, and I could actually huddle up with my team and be behind the blocking, which I liked that for Nighthawk. Like, I could huddle up there and he could never get a shot at the Nighthawk if I did that. So I played, so he moves up to about the middle. I sidestep, no, he picks first turn immunity. I sidestep up with Haha and TK up Unimind up to square 4. So 2 squares out of the starting line. And when I move him out of the starting line, that's it. I perplex up defenses. He moves to the middle of the map, inside of like a wall. Kind of like WizKid's office, but overall it's more open than WizKid's office. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So then what do? Oh, I think I TK Unimind up, call out Nick Fury, and then I hit his Goblin King, and I do 3 clicks of damage, but I forget that he's not the highest point character, so I can't use his invincible, but then he still has the invuln. So it's still minuses 2 from the damage, so he goes to click 3 or click 4, which he only has 4 clicks. Next turn, he pulls out, I think, Nick Fury and tries to kill my Nick Fury. And thank God he is not able to finish the job and kill Nick Fury because of Nighthawk Prime. And, no, I think he hits my Unimind. Yeah, he hits my Unimind and puts me on running shot, pulse wave, outwit. And, I'm like, all right. So then my next turn, I end up just doing a hypersonic around to the other area and perplexing up my attack and defense or something, or movement. And I kill his Goblin King. But then I'm right there. He sidesteps and is able to call out Green Arrow and possibly kill my Unimind. And I'm thinking, oh crap, this sucks so bad, right? I have prob with Unimind. Thank God I have my Nighthawk Prime, so he's not getting pumps. He rolls, he hits. I prob. He rolls, misses. He probs. He rolls and misses. And I'm just thanking God. I'm like, oh my goodness, I almost just gave away the game. And so I'm up even more points. Then next turn I think I TK Unimind next to Haha, and then I carry Haha back to the starting area with Nighthawk Prime in that little corner with the blocking I was talking about. And I'm huddled up and he just can't do anything. So he clears. I clear. I keep perplexing up my defenses. He pulls up to where he's facing my character. He's behind walls and he's plotting on how can he get out and try to do something. And he attacks with Cosmic Spider-Man, misses. I score more points, but he breaks one of the walls of blocking. Then he's kind of aiming up, trying to see if he can get a Hulk attack with that Battle Fury, but I move Nighthawk all the way to the last square, and kind of huddle him in so that Hulk can't get that attack. And then I think he got to reattach the Nick Fury, and he got like another Nick Fury shot and missed. And I had been supporting. No, I hadn't. No, Unimind was still in that same click. So that happened. Then I think he moves in with Jakeem, and okay. So he sidesteps up with Jakeem and goes to pull out Nick Fury and tries to hit one of my characters and misses. So then instead of just turning up saying, man, I got the game, I sidestep up with Haha and Nighthawk. I outwit powers on Jakeem, outwit Watcher's Eye on Nick. I call out Nightwing. I perplex him up to the max. He charges and flurries and kills Jakeem with 2 flurries. And then it's just his Jean Grey, and he concedes the game at that point. Great guy, great sportsmanship. Almost won the game, but missed that crucial roll with the Green Arrow, which I was actually surprised that Jakeem came within a dice roll of beating Unimind. That was super interesting to me. Yeah. So then my second game was against Unimind. And it was my buddy from Brazil. I don't know if his name was Pedro. I think his name was Pedro. I see him all the time on Critical Clicks and stuff. And he's a fan of the show, and he listens. I was actually so surprised. He said, "Oh, it's an honor to play you. I listen to your show." I was like, "You listen to my podcast?" That's crazy. Which actually, a funny story. Tom, I go into the Wings place right by the venue, and Tom is there from Married with Click. So I take the opportunity to ask him about his philosophy on team building and stuff like that, and you know, he politely kind of asked me back about mine, and I, you know, when we were parted ways, I said, "My name's Jared." He said, "Yeah, I know, I listen to your show," which is pretty cool. And I was so surprised that, like, you've listened to my show. That's crazy to me. So we're reaching people. Play to Win podcast. We are reaching the masses. So I sit down across from him. I win map roll. I put us on the Manhattan Bridge. He's playing Unimind, Nighthawk Prime, Boxing Ring, 2 Carnages. I think it's like verbatim Easton's build. And so he moves up into the Boxing Ring, surrounds Nighthawk Prime, and I just proceed to sidestep up and TK up with Haha and Unimind. And he's just kind of waiting for me to come. I TK up Unimind. I pull out Nightwing, perplex him all the way up, charge Flurry into the Boxing Ring adjacent to Nighthawk, and he didn't realize that even though 2 characters are creating a wall for line of fire to Nighthawk Prime, that I am still considered adjacent when I'm next to him. He rolls the shape change because he has +3 shape change next to all those characters, and I have to hit Unimind with my 2 flurries, which is fine, but he misses his super senses and he misses his impervious both times, and I get him to his stop click because he has invincible on his first click, and I didn't have the outwits and stuff. You know, I should have done better, but somehow I get him to his stop click. Boom. At that point, I think he calls out, he retaliates. I think he calls out an ID character. He hits my Unimind to running shot, pulse wave, outwit. My next turn, I hit Unimine with my Unimine and pop the Eternals. Okay. Then the Eternals pop out. I'm trying to recollect it correctly. I clear, he clears, and then I call out Hawkeye and just kill the rest of his team except for Hawkeye, and he concedes the game. I scored like 500 points or something. It was awesome. And seeing that Hawkeye in action, because I borrowed the Hawkeye. I hadn't played really competitively with the Hawkeye at all. And that Hawkeye, man, just wrecks face. Just killed all 3 Eternals, 2 Carnages in just one sweep, and completely took the fight out of the other team. It was incredible. So we turn in the points. I'm seated high because I got a lot of points. And a lot of people aren't getting tons of points because it's Unimine versus Unimine. And this is something interesting I want to talk about. In the Unimine versus Unimine, people are using the traditional Sun Tzu Art of War, which I'm an advocate of, and that's avoid what is strong and attack what is weak. And going after piece by piece, support by support. And in my testing, when I saw doing that, it was just, too much of that was going on, and it wasn't successful. And I developed this philosophy just for this meta, which is slay the dragon. Slay the dragon, ascend the hill. It's tough to fight the dragon, but when you kill the dragon, the team's dead. So as tough as it is to get through Unimind, which especially it's tough with time if you kill support first and then go for Unimind. But when you go for Unimind first, hit him, boom. If you can get him down to the stop click the first time you hit him, he might heal up. Then you get a flurry character in there, hit him twice, pop him. That's basically game. They can call out an ID character with the Eternals, but if your Nighthawk's still alive, they're not going to be able to kill your Unimine. So just slay the dragon. So that was my philosophy. So I was getting tons of points. I got put onto the camera table versus the current world champion, Ed. Shouts out to Ed. And we're playing. I'm pulling out my team. I let him know Supreme Intelligence is on Haha, so that he's not surprised by the TK when it happens. And he says, "How many points is the Haha Joker?" And I said 40. He says, "I've tried to do that 100 times in testing. You can't. The character has to be 50 points. Your team build is illegal." And I go, "Oh no." Sure enough, I pull out the card, I read it. It's true. Call the judge over, which was Patrick. Patrick said, he's like, "Yep, this team build's illegal." And I had so much mercy because, before you go into the tournament, you have Patrick was signing off on each sheet, right? So he signed off on my sheet at first, which had the same thing. Then I change it. I take off Carnage and do something else. And he re-signed off on my sheet. Both times the Supreme Intelligence was on Haha Joker, and Haha Joker was not at 50 points, and he had signed off on it twice. So I was fully like, "Yep, fair is fair, man. You got to DQ me." And they were like, "No, the judges signed off on it twice. You're going to get an automatic loss, 0-point loss for this round, and you're going to have to take off game elements from your sheet build." So they allowed me to take off 2 ID cards, which was my Green Arrow and my Shield level 7, and make Haha Joker 50 points to make the team build legal, which ended up biting me in the butt a little bit, not having the extra ID cards. I only kept Nightwing because in my games, Hawkeye was awesome. I never used Green Arrow. Never used them. And Hawkeye was like an awesome finisher, but it's like I didn't really need it, you know. Didn't really need it, so took them off and kept Nightwing, because Nightwing was the decision maker. He was either going to kill Nighthawk, or he was going to pop Unimind or kill a Jakeem. So he was going in there hitting like Big Krang with all the perplexes. So love Nightwing. And Easton Brock had written an article that week about how important Nightwing was, and man, was that true. So my next round, so I'm 2-1 at this point. My fourth round, I get seeded across from another Unimind. I think he won map and put us on. No, I won map and put us on the Manhattan Bridge. He was running Unimind, 75-point Goblin King, Frost Giant, Carnage, Boxing Ring, ID cards. So he moves up into the Boxing Ring with. No, he doesn't move up into the Boxing Ring at first. Wait, was he playing a Boxing Ring? I don't think he was actually playing a Boxing Ring. So he was playing no Boxing Ring. Yeah, because he was playing 2 special objects. That's what it was. So turn 1, he TKs both the objects to the players, and then the turn after that, he's going to equip them. Yeah, something like that. And then I TK, and I did my first move. I did my sidestep TK Unimind up. So what I did this turn was I run and shot, perplex up my range, perplex up my attack with Unimind. I'm able to hit the starting line with a 5 range, running shot 2 squares out from the starting line. I kill both of his Colossals, and then I TK my Unimind back to where I started with Haha. And the look on his face when that happened, he was so like, like, what the heck just happened? Oh man, because he was banking on those retaliators. He thought I was going to go and try to hit Unimind. But I killed the retaliators, and now he is on tilt. Meaning when someone's on tilt, that means that they're behind and they have to be aggressive, and they lose their options of timing and of being hesitant or defensive. So I just clear, back up, and he he runs up. Now he's inching forward. He calls out a character and misses an attack. I hit his Goblin King with my Unimind, I think, and take him down a few clicks because he had Invincible or something like that. No, I think what happened was I hit his Unimind. Is that what happened? Yeah, I hit his Unimind. Then he comes up. Now, so I got 1 token with my Unimind. I've hit his Unimind once. He hypers up and tries to range shot. Oh, he TKs up with Goblin King, takes a Pulse Wave, and he has that object that you heal when you do knockback. And he hits my characters and heals 1 and does like 1 damage to like Haha, and that was it. Oh, and Nighthawk, I mean. So he's up there, he's by my starting area. So I heal with Haha to the Outwit. My Unimind has Outwit, I think, and Nighthawk has Outwit. I outwit his defensive powers, his perplexes. I call out Nightwing, I perplex him up, and he pops Unimind. So now it's 75-point Goblin King and popped Eternals. and I get to shoot with one of my characters. I pop one Eternal. With Nighthawk, I get a shot on one of the Eternals and kill it. So now he has 2 Eternals and Goblin King. He runs up with Goblin King, tries to do stuff. I kill his Goblin King, and he runs away with the other 2 Eternals, and that was game. And so I got to advance. It was good to see that my team performed, even though I didn't have my ID cards and I had the altered build. And it was great. Come back. It's time for top 32. I get seated against somebody playing a Jakeem, Mercury, Haha, and Ironheart Bill. I think he had Eclipso on Jakeem and Supreme Intelligence. So he moves to, I just keep kind of sidestepping up and TKing up with Haha, just kind of a little bit. It's indoor map, it has a lot of walls. He kind of moves to the, so this is what I do. So I sidestep up a little bit with my TK, and he moves up the side. I am able to, with a TK, perplexing up range, and hypersonic, kill his Frost Giant, because he has a Frost Giant Retaliator in his starting area. And I'm like on the other side of the map, not vertically, not horizontally, but vertically. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like not north to south, but east to west. Okay, so his team is on my left hand side, and I'm on the right hand side of the map. But I'm over by closer to his starting area now. So then he does TKs and carries and comes over with Jakeem and hits my Unimind onto Running Shot, Pulse Wave, Outwit. I call out Nightwing. I do my math wrong. I do it to where he has 5 damage, 14 attack. He hits Jakeem twice, but the toughness the second time keeps him alive. And so now he's on click 7 or 8 with with 2 action tokens, because he had used a second action token before. And my Unimind is double beated. And so then he goes and tries to base Unimind with Haha, Outwit stuff, clear with Jakeem. I'm able to TK Nighthawk up and like sidestep, TK Nighthawk to where he can perfectly get a shot of Jakeem behind some blocking terrain. And I perplex down Jakeem's defense by 2 with Unimind. And Nighthawk goes with a 10 on a 16 defense and hits Jakeem, kills Jakeem. It's just his Ironheart and his Haha and his Mercury. They clear and stuff. I had cleared already with Unimind, so now I moved the team back to my starting area, which is, there's a little crevice with blocking on each side, and it's like the hallway is 2 squares wide, so my team's just huddled up there. He comes up with his Haha. I just start hitting his Haha, and I clear every turn. I clear 6 damage on him at least, and I take the 3 or 4 tokens from him and kill his Haha. I kill his Ironheart. Then he moves up his Mercury. I kill his Mercury and cleared him. It was a good game. Top 16, I get seated across from a guy who is part of the Bluegrass Guardians. I forget exactly what his name is. Great guy. We put us in an indoor map that had some hindering. He played Unimind, Jean Grey, Haha, and a boxing ring with the teleporter. And so I do my sidestep TK up to get on square 2 like normal. He moves in the boxing ring, gets his objects. Then, I clear and do stuff. He calls out Green Arrow, misses. and I'm up 5 points. And I felt it, like this faint voice said, now play defensively and don't be aggressive. And then I quickly threw that thought away and just started pressing at his Unimind, shooting through the boxing ring and everything. And going through the game, I had a turn to pop his Unimind, and I just couldn't hit. Because he was in the boxing ring, I perplexed down his defense by 3. And if I would have hit with either my Tony Zugopog or Nighthawk, he would have popped and I would have won the game, which that was good, that even though he had the ID card advantage, I still had my chance to win. But he had got me in a loop where he had power 2 on the teleporter, and each turn he was picking Super Sense's shape change, either Super Sense or shape change from the Eternals, or Super Sense or shape change from the teleporter, and just keep swapping it out. And in the attack to kill him, I hit, but he rolled Super Senses, and there's nothing that you can do in something like that, because you have those 2 rollouts, and on the stop click you have Impervious, so you have 3 rollouts. And he played a really good game. He put himself in a position to win by choosing that strategy, and he just outplayed me. I think if I would have played defensively when I first had that 5-point lead, and I would have drew him out from the boxing ring, I think I would have had the advantage and possibly won. But it is a great learning experience. Roctober was a great experience overall. When I lost that game because of like a DQ against Ed, we walked and he talked to me about Heroclix for a while watching other games, and I got to learn a little bit, and it was just an overall great experience. Shout out to Heroclix for sharing figures, practicing, coming up with strategies. Kevin Afruz and PJ Boolin for helping me figure out what I'm doing. PJ for letting me borrow Green Arrow. All around awesome. So I'm getting a little bit more pumped back into Clicks, trying to resurrect my play group in South Florida. And that's it. Now I'm getting ready for WKOs, and I'm tweaking the team that I had. I'm going to make some changes and hopefully do better. The one thing I really learned was sometimes I just walk with the theory of team building, but I don't sit down and read every card and read every ruling. And I need to do that from now on. So that's the new thing I'm going to be doing, is making sure I read every card. Because if I could have known that at Roctober, I would have kept the same exact team build. I would have made Haha 50, Supreme Intelligence on Haha, Unimind, Nighthawk Prime. I would have only played Blue Flame at 10 points, taken off Cersei, because I don't care about shape change as much as I care about prob. And I have access to Super Senses, Hypersonic, Running Shot, and prob, and Psychic Blast from the other 2. So I'd rather have the other 2. Barely picked shape change anyways. So I would have just picked those 2 and had room for another ID card. And another ID card in that top 16 match also would have helped. Because if I would have been able to call out Nick Fury and say, can't use Super Senses, and now the damage would have been penetrating. So the Impervious is it's penetrating. Then I would have popped his Unimind. It would have been a different game. So yep. So that's it. Remember, guys, when you're playing Heroclix, you better play to win.